Speed Spirit, get him in the call. It is my man, Duke Pony.
Boop. Come on. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. Boop, boop,
Really? Are we gonna do this every show?
That's what I'm thinking.
Can't help myself.
The next time.
Hello, Duke Pony. How you doing?
Hey! Cool.
We won't be doing
Hello?
video. And by the way,
Yeah, we don't do video.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Hold on
It's cool,
a sec.
bro. It's cool.
There we
But
go.
in any
Yeah.
case, we welcome you to the Mini Arcade Show. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. It's awesome to be here. Been listening to you guys for the last about half hour now and been digging your work.
Hey, it's what we do best.
Yeah, here, hold on a second. Let me turn on. There we go. Got the live stream going at the same time as I got the Skype call. I like that 5-second break that kind of annoys the hell out of me. So, what can I do for you today?
Well, we're here to interview you.
Fantastic. Once again, thanks for having me on here, by the way.
No
So,
problem.
First time I actually get to do something like this. And so I'm all, well, I'd say ears, but I think I'm supposed to be speaking or something, right?
Well,
Yep.
we're going to be. Let's first talk about you and well, how you got started with doing art.
Actually, it's a long story, but I'll try and break it down. I've drawn for most all my life, but I actually back in high school, my senior year, I broke my neck, and
Oh,
yeah, I broke my neck in football. I was kickoff return. It was just a bad hit, and I broke the C4 vertebrae. I was actually on really heavy painkillers and in a neck brace for about 6 months. I went from a straight A IB student to almost failing out of high school my senior year. And I graduated with a 2.5 GPA, actually, but I still graduated. In any case, though, when I was really drugged up, I didn't have that little voice in the back of my head that most people have that says, don't watch that cartoon, it's for children. And so I got really back into cartoons, and I found that I loved them. And so I started drawing little cartoons and different cartoon characters. And I actually started a webcomic, Desmond Comics, which I started back up on Tumblr, but it was a Facebook comic. And from there, I got into cartoons. The natural progression at the time was My Little Pony had become a big thing. And so I naturally got into that. And then after a little while, I found some friends that were bronies, and they suggested that I start a pony Tumblr, an Ask blog, and it actually was a toss-up between, I think it was like 4 different Tumblrs that I almost did. There was almost an Ask Johnny Bravo pony, a Dead Space pony, an Assassin's Creed pony, and then there's the Duke Nukem pony. And the Duke pony is the design that won out, and ever since I've just ran with it. The blog's been running for about 2 years now. I've got 726 followers as of today, and so it's been a lot of fun.
Sweetness.
Yeah.
And for those who do not know who Duke Pony is, I posted up the link in the chat, so please check that out.
Mhm.
but then again, I got to ask you a question regarding that.
Oh, yeah,
Of all the ponies you had to choose from, can you explain why Duke Pony and overall what was the inspiration behind Duke Pony?
Was the inspiration behind Duke Pony?
Yeah.
I did him like that, mainly because I just really love Duke Nukem. When I was little, I saw Johnny Bravo and absolutely loved Johnny Bravo, and so badly wanted to be Johnny Bravo when I grew up. And the natural progression from that, as you go from a child to a little bit bigger child, is that you catch on to these overblown up characters like Duke Nukem, and I absolutely loved him. And it cracked me up because I always thought of myself as kind of a manly man. I mean, I broke my neck playing football. I was a middle linebacker. I did all this manly stuff. I was a power lifter. I actually set a state record. I mean, I wasn't what people thought of when they saw My Little Pony. And so I thought, what if I made a pony character that definitely was not what most people thought of when they saw My Little Pony. And a lot of people think that they're going to do that, and they do it by making a grimdark blog. They're like, oh, I'm so edgy with my cupcakes blog and stuff. And it doesn't really, I personally think that they're overdone. And so I instead decided to take it in the ridiculously manly direction, which actually was kind of the same direction that Hot Blooded Pinkie Pie took his stuff. What's his name? UC77. He actually used to be one of my big heroes in the Brony community until I met him, which was sad.
What happened? If we can.
He was actually I don't want to stuck on character, but he was just kind of a dick to me when I saw him. Actually, I came up and like I was really genuine. I was like, hey, I'm a huge fan. I love your work. I didn't try and fanboy all over him or anything. And I was like, keep up your good work. And he was just like this huge overpompous dick. And the two artists that were sharing a table with him just really didn't seem to like him. And it really hurt. It's why they tell you not to meet your heroes. I mean, because you can see somebody's work and be like, oh, that's awesome stuff. Like, fuck, man, that's... Sorry, pardon my language, military.
It's cool.
You'd be totally pumped to meet someone, and then you meet them, and they just... It ruins your image of them. I mean...
Yeah, I think I got where you're going at. Yeah. Sometimes people let the fame and the ego get to their heads, and it ruins the experiences for anybody to meet them or try to conversate with them. Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of it was. And you know, I try and put the best foot forward whenever I meet someone, and I meet somebody and they're kind of shitty. I've been in customer service a lot, and so you always got to assume, well, maybe that person's having a bad day. And so I came back the next days, and like he's just gone. Like he sold out on the first day, and then he was gone. He didn't sign anything. Like he was a really absentee person. Didn't give anything back to the fans, and was just writing this monster that he had created. And so it kind of hurt my view of him. So, but and also he kind of tore apart my side project, which really hurt my feelings. Because I don't know how closely any of you guys follow me, but I'm actually going to BronyCon this year.
Whoa! Got another one.
Yay!
Actually, I'm a vendor, and I'm not actually selling anything Duke related, unfortunately. I did that last year, and none of the Duke stuff sold. But what I am selling was actually a pet project that I did, the Pony Muscle Calendar. If any of you guys have seen or heard of that.
I think I remember that, but unfortunately there was something going on about that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, there was a giant, I'm doing really hard air quotes right now, scandal that went on with that. There was my opening pinup of vinyl. The pose I did was referenced from a stock image, like one of those bases. And Justice Warriors descended and tried saying that I traced the entire calendar, which is it's bullshit. I mean, the pose looks like the other one because I got the idea from the other one. I didn't trace it though, and I actually cited the source and when I posted it and everything, and I gave the artists and stuff. But it was easier to cause a giant flame war. But I still sold out in the first 3 hours of the con, and made a lot of money, which is actually paying for this year's con as well. I've actually really stocked up, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get all the stock to the convention. Last year I only had 50 calendars, and so I didn't think they were going to sell at all. And they moved out in the first 3 hours. And so this year I bought 200 of them, which is fantastic, except for the fact that now I've got to drive 200 calendars across the nation from Montana to Baltimore.
Well, don't worry. Hopefully they sell well enough to where you don't even have to bring it back to Montana. I'm hoping I can get one of them, too, just for kicks.
Yeah, well, dude, if you swing by the table, I'm table 102, and you'll be able to find me.
Sure.
And you got to get there, because
I'll be co-vendor too because I'm signed up with GS Pony, who does metal work and also does Stripper Trixie. Was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll be situated according to the floor plans. We'll be situated right next to Little Miss J.
What's your table number?
I can't remember, but it's probably in a corner where not much traffic's gonna happen. So
corners are always pretty good spots because they're bottleneck point where two different lanes are converging, and then people naturally slow down at corners and look at corner tables, as well as corner tables got more surface area for you to put crap out at. I mean,
Oh wait, Giant Snow has a number 118.
118. Oh, you guys probably aren't too far away from me then.
Oh, sweet then.
I'm table 102. Pony Muscle was actually the first table that they gave out for the convention this year, which is something cool. Well, we were pretty sure to make a good impression with the guys at Baltimore, despite having to actually. You did have to call security on somebody.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but oh well. As long as it didn't happen to me, I don't care. And hopefully your calendar will sell well, despite people wanting to go like rabid social justice warrior and say, "Oh, you traced this. Oh, you stole that," and just perch your profits. Hopefully, it won't happen.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, if you're Spin Master on it, which fortunately I call him my brains, Good Guy Mike is master of that shit. He just used it to spin more publicity, basically. I mean, he used it to get the word out there by saying that it was the controversial calendar, and then people would go like, "Oh, you heard about the controversial calendar? Oh yeah, I've heard about. I'm gonna go get myself one." And so it was. He's just very. He should be a politician if you want a YouTube celebrity.
Okay.
Celebrities are overrated. Spirit, you're being really quiet right now.
Well, I don't want to interrupt.
Sorry, you guys got anything to say? Like, if I get onto a tangent or something, or
Oh, it happens.
did I get offensive? Just say something. I mean, I don't think
Something. There, you say something.
There's his little joke quota. I hope.
Let's see what else. Oh yeah. Where was your? Where did you get your main start? Was it from? I know it's not from ponies, but you say from Johnny Bravo. That's where you got your main start.
No, like just in art or with the Tumblr. Or
just art altogether.
Art altogether. I was always drawing. I mean, when I was I was 3, I started drawing. I started keeping a sketchbook. That's back when Kirby first came to the U.S. It was back, or no, in the U.S. I used to fucking love drawing Kirby for some stupid reason.
You know what? It seems like the Kirby virus has gotten everybody back in the 90s, bro.
I think I can probably understand why. It's probably just an estimate, but who can resist that cute little puff ball?
I know, right? Fucking Kirby, man. It was ridiculous. Kirby did go. It was definitely a virus back then. But no, I drew fucking Kirby. Pokemon. Oh shit, man! I drew so many Pokemon. I had all the worst, the OC Pokemon. Every kid comes up with. It's just like a fucking pillar of flame. It's Flammetime. Get your Flammetime right here. And he eats fire, and he's got some grimdark past about his parents and stuff. Everybody went through that phase. But I used to have a giant collection of sketchbooks from when I was little that were full of Pokemon. I just kind of drew what I saw, and a lot of it was because my father really he was a very talented artist when he was my age now and going into college and stuff. He actually used to show me his sketchbooks and things like that when I was very little, and I'd try and copy them. And so my father was a big inspiration on the whole drawing front. But then I kind of fell out of it in high school when I everybody goes to that cool phase in high school where oh, I'm too cool for cartoons, or I'm gonna.
I watch manly stuff, and I drink hard alcohol straight up, and I spit out fire, and I piss nails, and I'm a tough guy. I don't do cartoon things. Ooh, look at that! So cool. Yeah. That's where it all happens right then.
Jack Medina pornography, but I broke my neck in my senior year, and that's kind of what got me back into the whole drawing thing. And when I actually my hugest source of inspiration that I had was when I broke my neck, I kind of discovered the internet for the first time, and from there I found YouTube, and I worked with Bajio Mexican at the time, and a buddy of mine pointed me onto Egoraptor, and Egoraptor only had I think he broke his first million when I was first watching him. It was back before the Poke Awesome and all the stuff that Egoraptor's famous for now. Yep. Metal Gear Awesome was his only thing. and I watched that and some other ones that came out, and I loved his style and I loved what he did, and I did a bunch of research on him, and all of his stuff pointed to him doing digitally, and he was an entirely digital artist. He wasn't going from flipbook animation; he did it all on his computer, and so I was like, maybe there's something to this whole digital art, and I went and after, Lord, I think my neck was still broken at the time. I bought a digital tablet, which I still actually use to this day. 3 years later, I still have the same exact tablet that I started out with, and I started drawing. Started on Facebook, moved to Tumblr, and just ran with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Since I'm leading this interview for you, Duke Pony, I think I'm going to begin what we like to call the Brony Round Robin. Basically, it's going to be a rundown of all the Brony-related questions we ask everybody that comes on the Mini Arcade Show. And since I'm at the helm of this one, I'm going to begin by asking you right away. Best pony. Go.
Applejack.
Applejack?
Applejack. Applejack is best pony. There's a story behind that, but I don't want to derail you guys. If you ask me at the end of it, I'll tell you the story.
Oh, go ahead and do it, man. Oh, go ahead and do it right here, man. I'm dying to hear this.
All right, as you guys know, I'm military, right?
Yes.
Army. And my little sister absolutely loves the show because it's supposed to be her show, but I hijacked. In any case, they just came out with those little blister packs of the ponies that you can get now, the little surprise packs or whatever. And she wanted to buy one for me and herself, and so my mom let her buy two. And she came home and gave it to me, and this was like the day before I was leaving for Fort Sill, by the way. And
Wait. Hold on. You were at Fort Sill?
Yeah, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Hate that.
Right on, man. Right on.
I fucking hate that place. I'll tell you what. Burning Oklahoma to the ground is like legitimately on my bucket list, which I'm really sorry if any of you are from Oklahoma. In which case, I'd say I'm just sorry that you're from Oklahoma, not the fact that I'm offending you, but just because it's an awful place.
I derailed. You know what? I'm gonna pretend you never said that. Go ahead and continue with your story. Go ahead.
So it was the day before I left Fort Sill, and my little sister came home and she had those, and it was back when they actually gave out the main six and the fucking blister packs. You can't get them now. But in any case, we opened them, and mine had Pinkie Pie, and hers had Applejack in it. And she really wanted the Pinkie Pie one, so I traded her. And she told me that I had to keep the pony with me the entire time I was gone. And I was like, no, sorry, Grabs, they don't. That's not. I'd get in trouble if I brought something like that, or I'd be humiliated if somebody found it. And she was like, no, you gotta keep it. And I told her, okay, I would. But I didn't plan on it. I put it on my desk, and in the morning when I woke up, I grabbed all my shit. It was just a coat and a backpack full of gym clothes, and left on the airplane. And as I was going through security, they had me empty out my pockets, and I emptied out one of my pockets, and my little sister had put Applejack in my coat pocket. And so she had managed to get through security with me. And then when we were at Fort Sill, they do the shakedown where you're supposed to throw away all your contraband, which includes pornographic materials, photos of your family, alcohol, drugs, and stuff like that. And when I was in they have a little amnesty room where you can't see anything that you're throwing away, I pulled out the Applejack, and I had ethical dilemma theater where I, on one hand, didn't want to get caught with it because I didn't want to just deal with that bullshit in a new environment. And then, on the other hand, though, my little sister had given it to me. And so I took the high road and actually kept it. And Applejack stayed in my uniform for the entirety of basic, AIT, and Fox 5 training. Every single day of training. She went to every single rifle range. She went through the gas chambers. She climbed up Treadwell Tower with me. She went through graduation with me. And ever since, I've tried to keep something that's Applejack related on me at all times. I've got a Zippo that I picked up at Baltimore last year that I keep with me. But that's my little story on why Applejack is best pony. That, and when I was there, you put into a new environment. Being from Montana, we're sturdy built, we're hardworking, and we're honest content. We don't lie, we don't sham, we do our shit, we get done. I mean, that's just the Montana way. And getting in this new environment, there's so many people that were taking the easy road out, being lazy, being sleeping in, screwing over their buddies and stuff like that. And I thought to myself one day, I mean, what would I tell my family when I get home? That I didn't try my hardest, that I didn't do my best, that I wasn't honest to who I was. And I realized that it was kind of something that Applejack also stood for. She's the honest character, the hardworking character, and I realized that was a lot like myself. And so every time that I was on 2 hours of sleep cleaning up some other asshole's mess who happens to be sleeping in the corner as well, I just kind of thought that, well, what would Applejack do, and what would I tell my family? And so I kept the Applejack with me ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I guess we get to the next ones, I'm assuming.
Fair enough.
All right. You want me to keep going with this?
Yeah, keep going. Or
Okay.
unless Gonzo wants to have the turn.
You want to have a turn, Gonzo?
Keep going.
All right. Besides Applejack, let's go into the hipster main six territory. We're talking Vinyl Scratch, Octavia, all them, and especially our beloved Muffin Princess Derpy. Favorite hipster six?
Favorite hits? That's a tough one, actually. There's a large portion of me that wants to say Derpy, but I think Derpy's a little overdone. Fuck, I think it might have to. I have to give it to Vinyl, because Vinyl's actually the pony that kicked off the Pony Master Calendar experience that has made me really enjoy this and has actually pushed me into my career in animation. So.
Awesome.
Sweet.
All right. Next one on the list is going to be. We're going to switch gears a little bit to favorite Cutie Mark Crusader. And yes, we got all four of them on the list, Babs included.
Babs. Okay. First of all, I hated the Babs Seed episode. I know that's like a sinful thing to say in the brony community.
Nah, not here.
Everybody's entitled to their opinions.
I did not like the Babs Seed episode. I thought that it was overdone. And I really did not like Babs. She was a complete asshole, and I don't think her little moment of redemption at the end of it was something that would redeem her.
Well, if you actually think about it, she is the daughter of the English version of Vegeta, and everybody knows Vegeta was an asshole as well. So I always say like father, like daughter.
Yeah, it runs the family. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense now. You think about, well, but they were a good asshole.
Yeah. I think we might be drawing a little bit too much connections there, but I didn't like her. I really didn't. But my favorite, God, it's tough because I love Apple Bloom's little accent. There's actually a female back at Fort Jackson named Kimbridge who sounded just like Apple Bloom, and I got a few. I used to have on my old phone a bunch of different like sayings that she did that were. Only half of them were appropriate. The other half of them were just ridiculously funny. But my favorite has to go to Scootaloo. I absolutely love Scootaloo, and mostly actually because one of my favorite comic artists, Brutamod, did the comic from forever ago, Axe Brutaloo, which was one of my favorite comics back when it was still running.
Huh. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
My turn.
Go right ahead.
Favorite princess.
Discord is best princess.
Oh God!
Season 4, season finale, right there.
I was hoping I was the only one that noticed that when they said the best princess. But in all seriousness, though, Discord for fucking sure.
Just remember, he doesn't do Windows.
Yeah. That's right. Fucking Discord in this newest, the 4th season, I actually really dug. A lot of people were upset about it, but I fucking loved the newest season. It was a fucking kick in the head. Tell you what.
All right, to switch gears a little bit. Sorry to take it away from you, Mean Spirit.
Go ahead.
But we're gonna switch from princesses to villains. Out of all the villains that have been here from season 1 to season 4, best villain.
Oh shit. Oh, that's tough. That is really tough. I don't want to take the cop out and say Discord again. He is a Samba was way too cliche to be a good villain. Nightmare Moon, well, interesting. And I mean, season 1 has a spot in my heart because it was the first season I watched, but that's just because I watched in chronological order. She wasn't very developed. Discord has the most depth, and I really didn't like the oh god, what was this? The villain from the end of season 4, the Chimera.
Chirrut.
Drac. Yeah, Drac. I really didn't like Drac. He rubbed
T-Rex.
T-Rex. That's right. There you go. Thanks. He rubbed me the wrong way. But I think that can I cop out and say something like the Manticore?
I mean, you can still say Discord because if you think about it, he's like Q. Oh wait, he was Q.
Yeah. Actually, the character that he reminds me the most of, I don't know if you guys watch Supernatural, but he reminds me of the Trickster from Supernatural, especially in the beginning of season 4, when he's just being a huge asshole and making fun of Twilight and things like that, and then he could have solved the problem right in the beginning, but instead he chose to teach them a lesson.
Yeah,
And,
that's John Delancey. That's basically him being Q. That before Supernatural came around, Q was the main inspiration for that. I mean, because that's John Delancey. He played Q. He basically did the same exact thing as he did in this show as well. Basically, he could have helped Picard out, but no, he didn't. He just basically, you figure it out. You
yeah,
guys are smart enough. You figure it out. I'll just say, look at this and tell me what you figure out, and that's it.
yeah.
Except for that one time when he had his powers taken away from him.
Yeah, then he had to go and says, help me. I don't want to be human. It's disgusting. It's barbaric. No offense. That was the best thing about it was because he'll be doing all that. He says, no offense.
Yeah, it's like the sentence, with all due respect. As long as you say that, you're fine, right? Yeah?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
With all due respect, I've used that. With all due respect, sir, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That being said, don't ever say that to an officer. That's a really bad idea. Especially if it is something that's fucking stupid, because then you're going to have to do it anyways because the officer's going to pull out his dick and it's probably bigger than yours. But, so.
Yeah. Moving on.
I think the word you're looking for because he's going to be a dick and pull rank.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. I didn't mean he was literally going to be like, oh yeah, check this one out. Zip. Oh, like, I didn't mean.
And my definition. Sorry.
So, anyways, moving along.
Yeah.
Favorite episode.
Favorite episode? Oh shit. Sorry, pardon my language. Shoot. I think actually it might have to be the Pinky Sense episode. That still might be one of my favorite episodes. Although Applejack had a few good episodes this season, but I think that the Pinky Sense one was the best because that was one of the ones where I was really doped up on painkillers for my neck, and it's a hilarious episode on its own. But when you're just like drugged out of your gourd, it's fucking fantastic.
Sometimes it's best to watch an episode of a TV show drunk or high. It's just a rule of thumb, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. And My Little Pony with like all the colors and stuff.
As long as if you're gonna do something like that, you might as well do it in the safety of your own home, watching your favorite show.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
You're not hurting anybody but yourself.
Yeah, I've watched so many episodes of My Little Pony drunk. It's fucking crazy. I mean, I go back and watch them when I'm sober, and they're still just as good. But like the whole drunkenness adds a whole other layer to the characters. Especially if you imagine that they're drunk as well and just like trying to get through the fucking day so they can go home and be alcoholics. So
Can't drink
it. Could we talk about a stereotypic Applejack then?
Can't drink in front of these ponies. God
that
damn
hard
it.
apple cider is really great. Pour me another one, Granny.
Oh man, holy cow!
Yeah, actually, shoehorning off of that really quick, I get a lot of flack from my buddies that know I watch that Applejack's my favorite because I've got a legendary recipe for apple pie whiskey that I drink all the time that I make, and they always make fun of me for that and they tell me that I'm Applejack and with the apple pie whiskey and stuff like that. Although I haven't delved into hard cider yet, but the apple pie whiskey is definitely something that's awesome. But
so let's get into your Duke Pony a bit. Since this is T-Bones, I'll let him take over still because this is his interview.
Right. So, admit it, Duke Pony, if I may call you that. you and I both share the common interest in Duke Nukem, obviously. But tell us a bit about Duke Pony, where he came from, and what it's all about. Tell us all about that. I'm curious.
Okay, the thing about the Duke Pony is that he's not necessarily a pony version of Dukem in the way that, like, oh, there's the Duke Nukem in human, and there's the Duke Nukem in Ponyland that's like pony version. He's in the back lore, which I touched on when I had like 30 followers. He is the actual Duke Nukem. He gets trapped by Dr. Proton. His manliness, quote unquote, gets taken away, which turns him into a pony. And then because he's a pony, he can't exist in the human world anymore, and he gets teleported to Equestria. And fanfics, you know.
Yeah, I can hear what the very opening says. It's time to kick flanks and chew bubble gum.
Yeah.
All about a gum.
Fuck. Let me just say I've got like 30 of those asks in my inbox, by the way. Everybody's, I've come to drink cider and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. I've come to chew flank and kick plot, and I'm all out of plot, and I've come to fucking, I've come to kick trees and drink hard apple cider, and I'm mostly out of apple trees at this point. Like, and then like,
It gets carried away, doesn't it?
It does, because you get a lot of Duke fans that are like, oh yeah, fuck, what's the best known Duke quote? We come to keep bad and chew bubblegum.
Well, did you know that phrase came around before Duke Nukem? Yeah.
Yes. Actually, all of Duke's phrases came around before Duke Nukem. Unless you're talking something straight out of the game where he's like, not my babes, not in my town. You ain't even motherfuckers gonna pay for taking my women. But if it's something that's specific like that, but the hail to the king, baby, and come to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Well, if you really think about it, he was the pulp culture icon for the biggest badass in video games.
Exactly. So they stole everything from like Joe versus the Army of Darkness, and then they take from every single. I mean, they've got so many movies that he's pulling from. I mean, aliens and stuff like that. I mean, he was a total pop culture mashup, which is something that I was really kind of sad that they didn't try and do in the new Duke Nukem, which we won't talk too much about because it makes me angry.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But no, the thing about the Duke Pony, though, is that he's supposed to be the pony version of the Duke, and that's actually the reason why he doesn't have a cutie mark. I've had a few people point that out. They're like, oh, did you forget his cutie mark? Because I'm one of those people that shows like face and the top half of characters and just pretends legs don't exist most of the time. And so whenever his legs do show up, I get a swarm of asks that are like, oh, you forget his cutie mark? And he doesn't have one. I personally believe that if people were to become a pony, they wouldn't have one because these ponies are born with a purpose. Most people don't find out what they're good at in their life. People are kind of limitless potential and just go into a job that pays the bills a lot of the time. I mean, so that's the reason why Duke doesn't have a cutie mark. That would be a boot kicking an ass. So I don't think that would look too good on his play.
Well, you could always show a boot, basically showing a boot kicking a flank, maybe.
Yeah. And that's
Or
actually
a
the thing
gun.
Or a gun. Yeah, or a gun. Or the one that I actually settled on if I was going to do one, the radiation symbol. That would have been the best.
Actually, the radiation symbol was the original symbol for Duke Nukem. Because it was,
Of course.
it's a sign for nuclear. It was a nuclear symbol. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty. But, yeah, and I did actually consider for a while doing the whole hot diggity demon thing, where every single scene they've got a different cutie mark.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, because like I thought of all the shit that I could do. You could totally just like do a rubber in one of them and stuff like that. I actually do that whenever I draw my friends. Whenever they get on the tangent or we're drinking or something, they'll be like, "Oh, you should draw me." I'll draw them, and every single time they get a different cutie mark, I draw them. Like, I thought my butt thing was just vibrator. No, it's this time. Oh, okay, I'll remember that next time. And then every single factor will change next time. But
Cool.
Very nice.
so what's next? What's your next question? State your riddles.
Well, considering the fact I've read your comics back and forth,
Yeah.
What are the chances if you ever got a chance to actually speak to somebody about possibly getting a actual audio dub of your comics posted? Say, for instance, like on YouTube or Zipcast or anything like that. Would you ever consider that?
You know, I've actually considered it a few times. I had one guy who submitted a reading of just like my description for my page, who did a really good job of making the Duke Nukem voice. But it was lacking emotion was one of the things that was unfortunate. And I was planning on, once I finished the entire Duke Nukem Forever comic, that I was going to do a dub of it and put in the sound effects and put in the motion comic where it's not just shows the page and then reads it, where it actually follows along with the camera. Like there was a reading of the Saxton Hale comics from Team Fortress. If you followed that back, like, geez, that was like 5 years ago when they had the heavy the Demo Man versus the Soldier thing that came out, the Demo versus Soldier update. They had a few Saxton Hale comics that came out as promotional things, and somebody read those Saxton Hale comics, and they did a really good job of motion tracking with the actual comics so that it made sense. And I do plan on doing one of those once I finish the Duke Nukem Forever comic. So it's actually in its final iteration. Because it's got it's based on the comic that you get with the Duke Nukem Balls of Steel edition, which I got, by the way. A girlfriend actually got it for me. She was one of my favorite girlfriends, but she's not with us no more. In any case, the actual comic, it starts out where he walks into the strip club. They talk about how it looks like Duke Nukem. And then it goes to each person telling stories. You've got the tropical beach scene, and then you've got the White House scene, and then you've got the actual bar scene. And we're in the White House sequence with the rocket jockeys, which the rocket jockeys actually will get shown next week if I get the comic done. As Tumblr seems to reward absenteeism, and I think I'm going to play into the absenteeism thing. I literally pick up more followers when I don't post than when I do post.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But the character, the bad guys in the Duke Nukem Forever comic are by far my favorite to draw. I mean, because I got to the last section, I drew like 10 pages of robot sharks. This one I get to draw a bunch of jetpack jockeys. And the one after that, to draw the pig cops. I mean, so the Duke Nukem is so fantastic, really fun to draw. And the robot sharks actually would have fit surprisingly well into My Little Pony universe, if you ask me.
Okay.
One can only imagine what the pig cops are going to look like in the Ponyverse.
Like pigs.
I actually went over that when I first started doing the Duke Pony Forever comic, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're gonna put the enemies as like typical My Little Pony things," and like I actually had a really awesome suggestion to have the robot sharks as robot parasprites, like giant angry robotic parasprites, and then stuff like that. And you could have had the rocket jockeys as, I don't know, diamond dogs with jetpacks, and then for the pig cops, we could have had actual pig kind of cops, or we could have had something else from the My Little Pony universe, like say rams, something like that, or we could have had them as minotaurs. There you go. I mean, because you can't adapt all these characters to My Little Pony, but instead I just had to keep it pretty true to Duke Nukem base, and not pretty up or pony up the bad guys, and just keep them as classical 80s Bond villains. I mean.
Right on.
Anyways, we're going to have to move on to our next guest here, but I'm going to put up your link again.
All right, definitely.
So go ahead and ask the last question, whoever wants to ask it.
I'll take it from here since this is my interview. All right, man. With the story that you have had thus far, recovering from a broken neck and becoming more and more inspirational with your art and everything like that, joining the U.S. Army with Applejack by your side and everything like that, I have to ask you, man, if you had one thing to tell anybody out there from the chat to Tumblr and eventually on YouTube, which we're going to post this, by the way, what would you tell everybody as words of encouragement or better yet, a Duke to live by, as we call it?
Oh God, I've got two of them, but I think I'm going to do this one. Fortune favors the bold, or those who are too stupid to stop trying. How's that for you?
Sounds good. I like it.
Now that's
Alright.
a Duke to live by.
Yeah. I realized that was more Duke than the other one. But all right. So since you guys are going to be dropping me off the show here, I want to say thank you once again for having me on here. It's been
Well,
awesome.
thank you for showing up.
I'm digging the stuff that you're doing here, and it's been awesome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And have yourself a very good night.
You too, man.
Hail to the pony, Duke.
Hail to the pony. Hail to the pony, baby.
Yep. See you later. See you later.